Hello, hello, and thank you for joining me. I have a new microphone, so please do let me know if there are any issues with the audio. Hello. We'll see how it goes. Hello, Mark and Chris. So we're going to pick back up on the API we were building, have some fun. So first thing I need to worry about is actually running a local server. Let's see if it still runs. And it does. Excellent. So things work. Sounding great. How's the quality? Is it okay? Can you see okay? I think I had issues with my my streaming quality. First time being here live. Welcome. We're going to be having some fun. So one of the things I want to do on this is actually start using Treble a little bit. Sign in with the old Google. And let's go back to our app here and let's get started. So composer require Treble Laravel. Which version am I on? 3.8. No, I do not want that version. I want to use version 4. I've just released and I'm testing. Link 4, 8.21, I believe. Okay, so the EQ. Okay, I really don't I don't know audio that well. Let me have a look at the audio settings quickly. I don't know what some of these do, so let me know if it goes a little bit funny. Mic gain, mic mute. What's auto level about? Okay, it's far from me, and I want a neutral live meters night mode. Hey, no, I'm using StreamYard. StreamYard is my go-to. Oh, that's going to annoy me. Empty the bin. Thank you. Okay, so I have installed Treble. I should now have a Treble start. I shouldn't need that. I could let me just full screen Arc a minute. I'm going to create a new project and that one. We are using Laravel. It is my local and I don't have any team members. My API key. So if I open up my EMV, I should be able to just add, I believe it is Treble API key and Treble project ID. Save that. Then I want to open up the kernel, and for all of my API, I am just going to add in the Treble middleware, that one. So now if I close that, restart it, let's go back and send the request. And we have got liftoff. Yeah, it's really cool. I've got requests coming in. Apparently, I am somewhere down there right now. Have to have a look at my network. Security is low. That's fine. Let's view the request. We're including the user. And here are my details. Headers. We've got rate limiting. Got the content type, access allowed control origin, got the date and the cache control, request details, nothing major going on in there. We're doing the field masking for the token, which is great. We're using Insomnia, auth, using a bearer. Key name, source. It's all looking good. There's no problems on my API. My API score is good. We're not using HTTPS, which is fine. We're using versions. Got no errors. Got JSON response. Content encoding. Ooh, let's have a look. So, using content encoding. For more information, click on this link. So, we could add some headers. So let's have a look at improving our API slightly. So actually, wait a minute, isn't there Laravel started coding where? No, that's a guzzle one. Okay, so I'll make my own. Make middleware API content in coding am. Go and play with that one. Security on my APIs minus 100. Like Lighthouse, but for API. Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, it's not a secret. I did start working here. Okay, so let's go back and have a look at these docs for not that. Treble. So what we want to do is content encoding representation to the applied to the payload and what order. Okay, so this needs to be on the outgoing. And let's look at adding like gzip. So I don't know if I need to add anything specific. And now we can say with header, I'm going to have to type hint this because it doesn't automatically detect. Can I set a header? Headers set turn response. So I want to set the key to content in what am I doing? Encoding. The value I want to set is going to be gzip. Let's see if that is all I need to do. Come back to the kernel, and we're just going to add the content encoding class. Actually, apparently I've got a helper for this. Content encoding gzip. Apparently I've created something for this. Who knew? Right. Okay, so send it again. Oh. Transfer encoding is bad. So if I gzip it instead, my way. Still not working. So what we need to do is we need to figure out how to content encode this nicely. Laravel content encoding. It's probably a package or a specific way that you can do it. No, I'm not a tech writer. I'm their dev advocate. Oh, gzip. Ooh, what's going on? Let's have a quick encode, JSON responses. No, it's nothing there. Got to be a way to do it. You can do it on Vapor. I'm assuming it's. G's encode. Let's see if that function is available. Quickly. Yep, we do have it available. So it is stuff that we can do. Zoom in on the browser. Okay, so view, zoom in a little bit. Zoomies, zooms. That should be a little bit better. So James Bannister wrote this in 2021. Content encoding. Okay, so this is what we need to do. I'm just going to copy that and fiddle with it a little bit, I think. So that is what it says to do. Give that some space. Let's go test it quickly. We are looking good. Go back to Treble now. We have got some requests coming in. Let's go look at our API score. Still not picking up the encoding. So let's go have a look at response, cache control. Okay, so it's not actually picking it up right now. We'll put it onto real time. Good morning, Kat. How are you doing? Right, what can we do? So let's come back, look at these headers quickly. See what's going on. Content type. We want to look at the cache control. So I know Laravel does have support for that. So let's come back to here, come back to the docs and cache control middleware. So middleware, cache headers, public, max age, e-tag. This is what we need to be doing here. We need to be basically just caching and adding an e-tag so that it can compare what's going on, I guess. Encoding, let's just do that and see what it says. Right. Have another look. Boom, cache control, max age, public, e-tag, rate limit. I don't think it's going to do any content encoding while it is just running on a PHP server. I'd have to spin up Docker for that, most likely. Just waiting on your Mac doctrination. Mac is awesome. So let's come back to Treble. We did get one. It was a fast response. Outdated HTTP, that's fine. I expect that. Using JSON, view the request. Let's go look at the headers for the response. Cache control is good. Content type, e-tag, rate limiting is working. To me, that is a pretty good API so far. Obviously, content encoding I can't do much with. HTTP 2.3 support. Average load time is all relatively good. Especially for like a local PHP server. So what else can I learn? Response size is in the bytes. we've got some good speed going on. So if I make another request, that should be a little bit faster. Oh, I didn't turn real time on. Here we go. There we go. Because it's got cache control and the content has not changed, I am getting a faster load time, which is great. This is what I wanted. Actual insights that I can work with. Okay, so let's carry on with our API. Content encode. This is going to annoy me. I don't know whether there's a reason this isn't working. Request get encodings. Get a list of encodings acceptable by a client's browser. From string. Ooh, okay, so we can say accept encoding as well. So if we come over to headers over here, and let's just say that we want to accept gzip. We're now getting content encoding. Fantastic. Back to our API score. View this request. We should have content encoding on. Beautiful. So now let's carry on with our actual API. So yeah, I kind of get why I would want to see the get encodings from an API, because we want to make sure that we're not passing something that the client's not going to understand. Setting the content to be the response content, and then we're doing the level. And level is a compression, can be given as 0 for no compression, up to 9 for maximum compression. 9 max, cool. Adding some headers for content encoding and Vapor base 64 encode. That's fine. I probably end up configuring that, but if I was to deploy this, it would be on Vapor. So what's this saying? No optimal if conditions. Okay. Cool. Not a problem. All right. So that's that done. That's that done. Come back to our app itself. So where we got to last time was getting members. Oh, we got a question. Does the use of API in the project mean that we have used microcert? No. What using an API means is that you've got a headless mode available, not that you're using a microservice. This just means that we are using something that can be headless without a user interface, basically. And now, I did not write any tests properly last time because I was just playing. So let's go have a look at index controller for organizations. So what tests do we want to do? The first test that I would do for getting the organizations for a user like this would be I want to test that unauthenticated users get the correct status code. So we want to get JSON. The URI that we want to go to is going to be for the index controller. And we are going to assert that the status code for this is going to be should be unauthorized, I believe. I think that's kind of like the default for this. Let's just run that. Ooh, cannot find test case in object call stack. Something. So my test is passing, but something is falling over. Test case. Without Vite, that's fine. That's all expected. Nothing funky going on there. Let me see what's going on. This also fails. Now it's looking good. It's just a PHP runner. PHP Storm runner, I believe. Okay, so that is working. We know that unauthenticated people will get the correct status code. Then we want to test that. That's the next part. That we get the correct status code, I guess. Authenticated users get the correct status code. To me, status codes are important. So we can do a get JSON where the URI is index controller class. And we are going to assert that the status for this is OK. This will fail because I've not actually changed anything. Can I group these? Yes. Group API. Group API. So a test group API. Ooh, excellent. So here we want to call that after acting as user factory create. We want to test it with an actual user, not an unauthenticated user. There are helpers, yeah. You can assert OK or successful. I like to be declarative with that, just because it's me. I'm picky, okay? Super picky. So authenticated users can get the correct status code. Perfect. Next, we want to test that the resource collection comes back correctly. What are we actually using, though? That is the question. Organization resource is a JSON API resource, which extends the JSON resource. So our collection response JSON API resource collection too. So we want to test that the payload is returned in the correct format. So acting as user factory create JSON URI is going to be for the index controller. To assert the JSON is going to have a specific format. Assertable JSON. Here's our JSON. That, and then what we will do just to debug is we're going to dump and see what we're actually getting to understand. Why not response HTTP OK? Because it does so many other things. I don't like to do it. It's just what I do. Okay, so assert JSON. What we could probably do is let's have a look at the structure. Send that. Look at the preview headers. Preview. Oh, why can't I see it? I can't actually see any content. It does this to me every now and then. Let's just quit Insomnia and reopen. Here we go. Preview. So we want to assert that the type is organizations. First one, I suppose. So let's get the first. It's not actually going to do anything. What we want to do is create our user first. Then what we want to do is organization factory for our user. We're going to make 10 new organizations. And we're going to make the request for our user so we can get the first one. And we should be able to say where type is organizations. Try again. Oh, wait, I haven't added the group. That's why it's not actually showing. Group API. Try again. There you go. The payload is returned in the correct format. So we want to then say about attributes. Well, it has things. So because we're caring about the format right now, we want to say that it has attributes dot name, has attributes dot email. Let's just make sure the format is correct. Has attributes dot I can't remember anything today. Domain has attributes dot verified, and we want to check the embedded ones. So created for human timestamp and string. So has attributes dot created dot human. You could probably kind of duplicate that, because then we've got the time stamp and the string. We're just ensuring that our format is as we would expect. Yeah, unfortunately, it's quite a funny. My webcam's on top of my Mac over here. My main code for screening is over here, and my microphone is here. I've got a small office now, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. So enjoy the profile of my beard until I figure it out. So we know that our payload is returned in the correct format. So next, what we can do is make sure it comes out with the correct values. We want to test that the payload returns the expected values. We go function void error. What am I doing? Void. So it's going to be very similar. So if I just copy this for now, we need to make sure we add the group for the API. So for the factory, the organization factory, is going to take specific things: name, email, domain. Here, what I'm doing is just getting the string of the email, getting anything after the @ and casting it to a string. That's kind of just quick detection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say name and email. I'm going to pass that through perhaps. So let's say data sets. We're going to say, let's create email. Data set for email. Let's say we have got test. I'm going to just use Treble, treble.com. Test at Laravel.com. Give me another one. Test at Beyond Code. Some more examples. Sparsy.be. Test at Titan.co. And let's just say come on, give me a name. Give me a name. Anyone got any names for domain that I could use? I want one more. Let's go for, I don't know, OnlyFans. Nobody said anything. There we go. We got OnlyFans in the mix. So payload, and what we want to do is also just say with email. So we can just come up here and say that we're going to accept an email. So the email for this is the email that we passed in. So where all of that. And now what we can do instead is turn these into a where attributes email is email. It should be unverified by default, I believe. Yep, unverified by default. Yeah, I'm really sorry about the angle of the webcam. There's only so much I can do. Let's do a where the domain is going to be equal to string of email after at to string. So let's make sure that it's actually performing what we would expect. And let's run. Run with it. It failed. So unique organizations email test at OnlyFans is apparently already here. So let me go down to my PHP unit. SQLite in memory. That's fine. Treble, Laravel, Beyond Code. All of those should be unique. So the only thing that I can think of, I've got refresh database. How could that possibly be failing? Oh, the location on the screen, not the angle. I can't actually move it. I can move it here. I can move it here. Or you can have just me. Or you could, let's hide me for now. Let's just put me out of the way. Ooh, edit layout. Okay, no, cancel that. I'm live. Don't play, Steve. Stop it. Okay, so for some reason, I'm getting an error on the integrity constraints for the email. Let's guess what Steve is typing. Why is this failing? I've got unique emails coming in, and it's only fans that's causing the problem, apparently. It shouldn't be using a seeder because it should be using an in-memory. Let's just run it again. Yeah, still failing. Unique constrained failed. Organization email. Trying to insert test at OnlyFans. Oh, wait, is it? It's doing something with this, isn't it? Okay, so let's fix this part. And for the seeder, we're just going to say this faker domain name. Let's see if that resolves the issue. No, it's still complaining. Odd. Very odd. Use unique. Unique. And unique. Let me go to the organizations. So email is unique. That is the only thing that's unique. We're still getting failures. And it's always on the OnlyFans. Maybe I shouldn't have created an OnlyFans fake. Let's delete it and see what happens. Okay, now we're getting 5 failed. Now it's complaining about Titan.co. Okay, so the only thing that I can possibly figure out, if I do a quick line dump here and just do organization all quickly. Still complaining. Why are you complaining? Change account to 5. Good point, because it's going to reuse the same email as it goes through. Silly Steve, what were you thinking? Now it's failing because it's still unique. Okay, let's not do the count because I'm creating 10 with I'm creating 10 with the same email. Oh, what was I thinking? Yeah. Okay, apparently I need more coffee because this isn't working. Attributes domain, yeah, no, that's fine. So if I just come back to here and we're just going to put that back to where it was. We'll run the test again. Oh, what's going on, Steve? Titan and that, okay. Okay. Strange. If I manually set the domain to be that, is that then going to pass? But that doesn't feel like I'm testing. Error on line, Steve, 100%. Okay, so something with the factory was being a bit of a donkey. Yeah, okay, cool. So we know we can get the expected values. That is good. Close all unmodified. All right, just close all. Right, back to our roots. On our API, we've got our roots over here. I don't actually want that root, which means I can clean that up. Our API roots are now looking super duper clean. Our V1 roots are looking super duper clean. Organizations are looking good. So let's say we want to create an organization. That is our next one. We want to do a post request. Apparently we want to do some odd typing instead. I'm going to call it store. Let's go make a controller. Make controller. And we're going to call this store. We're going to make a request. Already got the organization store request, which is great. So we can now add the store controller for that one. Let's simplify, come to our store controller, store request. Oh, that is the web one. Let's go have a look. It is the same. Yeah, it's exactly the same. So we could probably refactor that, move the class outside of web. Just quickly refactor that one. Come down to our requests, which we can now delete. Quickly make sure everything is all up and running. It's a lot of fun writing tests, I have to admit. Okay, so our store controller we have validated. We are going to want to return something that is responsible. And our store controller, what we want to do, because this is an API, ideally we want to dispatch a background job. So we're going to make a job. We're going to put it under API v1 in case we need versioning and different ones for the web. Organizations, create organization. And we'll create a test. So here we want to dispatch a new create organization job. Then we want to return a new response. So responses, we're going to want a new accepted response, which implements responsible. So public function construct. What we want to pass in here is going to be a message. Read-only string message and read-only status. And we're just going to say status accepted. So this is going to return a JSON response. And we want to say return new JSON response, where the data is message, this message, and the status is this status value. Keep it simple for now, because excellent. Return new accepted response, where the message is going to be we have accepted your request to create a new organization. Something simple. And this, in the constructor, we're going to want a public read-only payload as a payload. Handle method is going to have to inject the process. Domains, processors, create new organization. Process. And we can say try and run process using the payload. And we will just catch anything that is throwable as an exception, and then we will throw the exception. I'll probably create a custom exception later on for this. So this needs to accept the payload from the request. All looking good. Why is that complaining? It's not. Awesome. So that's a store request. Let's see if we can do it. Add a new request. This is going to be a post request to URL API v1 organizations. We got a failure there, which is good. So now we can say that we want to accept application JSON. We also want to say that our content type is also application JSON, and that unauthenticated. So now that we've done that, we can say that our authorization is error token, and now we can look at sending the actual body. We want to send JSON. So we want to send a name, live stream incorporated. The email is required. hello@livestreaminc.com. Okay. Failed to create an organization. So update to create an organization. We are getting an issue somewhere in our process, which is cool. Right, let's chase this down. Update or create organization. So at this point, we are calling the command here. This one. We want to get that email out of the payload. So we need to make sure that this is being used correctly. Here's our store request. Email to string. So quickly debug this. And we could probably just come here and dump on it. Dump on the payload. So we've got an email and we've got a user. And we got null on the organization, which is fine because that's not been created yet. At this point, we are doing okay. So let me just close. Right, It's here. It is somewhere down here. Let's die and dump it at this point and just have a look at the payload. And again, payload is good. What's actually happening if we do fail? Non-null constraint organization name. Okay, so apparently I'm not passing the name correctly. So if I ignore some of this, create organization, store controller, getting the payload. Okay, so this needs to have a read-only string name. And here we need name. For request, we need to pass through the name, this string, name to string. Good. That's good. Accepted response is sorted. Let's drop that and let's come back and send. We are failed to create organize. Okay, so we still failed. Ooh, hiccups. Foreign key constraint failed. Okay, it's trying to insert the entire user there. That is going to cause an issue. String user, store controller, go to get the payload. This user, get key. I did not test any of this code when I was writing it. Just sewing stuff together. We failed to send an email notification. Fantastic, we have moved forward. That part is fine. That part is fine. Create organization payload is looking good. That's looking good. What's going wrong is somewhere here. So let's open up this. Oh, I've already activated it. Damn it, I'm on the wrong computer. Darn it. Okay, so I'm going to have to use mail trap. Let's go use mail trap and let's just log in using probably GitHub. Yeah, probably already used that before. Testing this. Don't need that. Add an inbox for achievable. I'm going to have to set this up on my machine later properly. And let's go have a look at setting it up on Laravel. So what I need is that. Open our .env. And let's swap that. A config clear. Restart the server to make sure. Boom, emails are, okay. A migrate fresh seed. Thank you, thank you. This is where I've a serve. This is where my token is no longer valid. God damn it. Okay, so let's go and go to oh, it's just one nightmare after another. npm run dev. Cool. load, back, log in, API tokens, test, create, grab my API token, come and have a look at our environment, change to the new token, now send. Still failed to send an email notification for some reason. Okay, so let's go have a look at where we are sending this notification. And let's die and dump on the exception so we can figure out what's going wrong. Email's already been taken. Oh, of course it has. App models organization 8. There we go. Now, try it again. Argument 1, organization must be of type organization. Null given, called in, send creation notification. And a creation notification. Okay, so this is what is failing. Handle. Okay, so before we do that, we get the organization back from here. And what we want to do is say that payload organization is the organization. So we should not get that exception. Make sure it's truncated. Send it again. Taken a while. Failed to attach user as a manager for this organization. So next step is attach user as a member. So we can die and dump on this exception and see what could have gone wrong. As mail trap. We should have received an email. Your organization has been created. Try again. And what we are getting is domains. Return value must be of type bool. Member returned on add user as organization member. So the command itself. That is what is causing an issue. Update or create, that returns a model, so that is correct. Model member, come over to here and say the same thing. This is just mail trap for now. I usually use an app by Beyond Code just because it's so much easier. Okay, email's already been taken. We can fix that. We can fix that. Go. Come on, we accepted your request to create a new organization. So now if I come back to the UI, I've got Livestream Inc., which is perfect. If I come back to here and look at members for the organization, there should be me as a manager. And that is it. That is setting all of that up. Go away, do not disturb. Let's for another hour. What time is it? 12. Almost time for lunch. This is fun. All right, let's just close all of this. Let's start looking at testing. So testing-wise, our API, we've got a store controller. So what we want to do is declare strict types because that's what we do nowadays. We want to say that an unauthenticated user gets the correct status code. This is something that I add on most tests. It'd be nice if I could like shortcut this. Because that's what I'm doing. Import that function. Import that. And we're going to use a store controller. There. Simplify. This is actually a post JSON. Simplify, get rid of that. And now we can test. Make sure that it works. 9 passed. Fantastic. We're getting there. Yeah, I fixed it. I can't even remember what went wrong now. Okay, so we want to test that validation rules are handled. In symbols. Oh, we're going to do a post JSON. No. Acting as user factory create. And do a post JSON. And what we're going to post, well, we're going to post to here, and we're not going to post anything. We're going to be rebels. And we want to assert that the status that we receive is status unprocessable content. Again, we'll group this under API. Clean tests, what we like to see. 10 passed with 71 assertions. Validation rules are handled. Right, so assert errors. JSON has validation error 4. B, name. Assert JSON validation error 4, email. We want to make sure that they are indeed correct. We are getting the validation errors that we should be getting. Right, that is validating. So test validation rules work for name. We want to do them separately too, just to make sure that there's nothing getting past us. We're going to do the exact same thing, but this time we want to just validate against a name so that the data that we send is actually an email. So let's add the with email, pass in email. Our email is an email. Again. No, they don't actually need to be multiple calls. I just like to do them that way. Everyone knows I'm a bit funny. And then we want to do the exact same thing for the email. So this time we want to do name. This should be email. And I'm going to create a new data set for names. Name data set. Just need some names now. like naming your children. What should I call them? Obviously, there's going to be Steve McDougall, which is me. We're going to have Chris Miller. We are going to have Catherine Reeve. We are going to have Godwin. We're going to try and pronounce some of these second names, so I do apologize. Who else have we got online? Ronald. I gave you an extra N. I did. I do apologize. I thought you deserved extra letters. I'm just going to copy some names. 2 more names. We've got why is that caps lock? This would be interesting to see if it's going to handle all of these different letters. Where's me hat? Come on, hat number 1. And last name that I can see. Now we can just pull in name, string, name, name. Perfect. SB testing. So far, so good. You're being a bit slow today. There we go. And we are testing against the names. They're the names that I can see. So I'm apparently adding extra letters to people's names. Right, so that is now working. We are getting validation the way that we would expect it to. Next, we want to say that we want to test that the background job is dispatched void. So bus fake. And we're going to just do this. We're going to say that the name is test.php and the email is nuno@testphp.com. Doing a store controller, and we are expecting that this is accepted. And then we want to say that the bus, we want to assert dispatched. Create organization job is dispatched. That's all we care about right now. So run our tests again. And I'm going to have a drink of my Ribena while I wait. Wait, I didn't add a group. That was silly of me. Does that mean I have to have another drink of Ribena? Right, so that is that. That is that. We are looking good so far. That it is dispatched. The next thing that we want to do is this process is going to be run. So things that we need to do is assert that we do get an organization, assert that a notification is sent, and assert that a member is attached. Ooh, 14-inch M2 MacBook Pro. That is a fancy Mac. VK Cat. I have a MacBook Air M2 and it is amazing. I had to think about which one I had then. Right, okay, so next I need to test that a notification is sent on creation. I'm going to group that under API. Void. So we're going to do pretty much the same thing in the middle, but surrounding it, we want to say notification fake. I don't use notifications enough, to be honest. I'm going to have to figure this one out. Notification, I'm going to assert count 1. I'm just going to try it. Let's see. Yeah, there's some really good Macs. I've got the M1 Mac Mini 2, the M2 Mac Air. I was going to get a new Mac Mini, but I'm not sure. I don't really need it. This M1 is, pretty good. I don't think I need it. Okay, so the notification is sent. What we're also going to do, because I don't want to test too much. No, I do. Let's be honest. Test that an organization is created. This is where we don't want to fake anything and we want to ensure that stuff actually happens. So we are going to, again, same thing in the middle. At the start, we want to expect that when we go organization query count, that this should equal 0. This is how I test these things. I'm not testing specifics. That would be a unit test for me, I'd say. And 1. So I need to make sure that I add the group API. There we go. Ooh. Using Arch Linux on an M2 Mac would be amazing. I can only imagine how crazy that would be. Okay, so organization is indeed created. The notification is sent. Now we want to make sure that we do have a new member. So similar to this one, we want to say that a member is attached to the organization. So member query count to be equal 0, first one. The second one, however, we're going to do a different expectation. So we want to expect that first we're going to get the organization. Is there like a get last insert get ID? No. Okay, we're just going to get the first. There shouldn't be any other at this point. So what we're also going to do is say that we also want to get the members. Expect org members to have length of 1. Let's see. Ooh, a Ubuntu. Nice. I haven't used Ubuntu in a long time. That's the kind of the lightweight window manager using Ubuntu, isn't it? Right. Member is attached to an organization. Great. So we can accept that. We know we've got 1. So if we go to the and we want to assert that the org members first. We're going to get the first member, and we're going to say role. We do equal role. That's enum. First one should always be a manager when you create an organization. That is because the person who's creating it is a person who's going to manage it to start with. You can downgrade them later, not a problem. But just some basic business rules. And we are good. That is working as expected. And that is tested. So I'm going to commit that. Git add commit live stream. That was pretty darn fun. And I think I might call it a day at that. I'm getting really hungry. So thank you all for turning up. Let's do it again soon. Let me know on Twitter when you next want me to stream next week. I'm just going to shove my face back on the camera. Yeah, I've got some cool new stuff. So, you know, new microphone. Who's this? Treble is also awesome. So join me next week. Let me know on Twitter when you'd like me to start streaming again next week. As soon as possible would be great for me. That's fun. Any day with a Y in it. I don't know if I can commit to that, but I can try. I can definitely try. Thank you for tuning in. We're doing some more API development. We're going to keep going a bit tomorrow. It is all appearing on my Treble. I've got plenty of requests coming in. We have a few failures, unprocessable entities. We are looking at this internally to see what we can do with errors like this, because that's being logged as an API problem. It's not really a severe problem, but I think, you know, that's more severe. We didn't get to send that email notification. This is more severe. That's more severe. Unauthenticated, severe. Email's been taken. That's a userland error, right? So yeah, I'm going to look at doing some more magic with that. And in the meantime, have a good weekend. And I will see you all next week at some point. Let me know on Twitter. Like, subscribe, drop a comment. Let me know what you think. See what you'd like me to try and do next time. And I'll make sure that I read them and plan something. Have a good evening. Have a good day. Have a good morning. Whatever time it is. Be awesome. And thank you.